Hello, everyone. We're experiencing a little technical difficulty. Monica Vargas will be right back with us in just a moment. Stay tuned.
All right, sorry, and I apologize for that. And as we dive right back in, I can't go without introducing our two speakers today, and so apologies for backing up this way. I first want to introduce and welcome Tiffany Capella, System Director for Health Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion at Christus Health, and the Board Secretary for our NALHE chapter in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Also, our keynote speaker, Ms. Ilia Calderon, co-anchor of Univision's network flagship evening newscast, Noticiero Univision. She is the first Afro-Latina anchoring an evening newscast for a major broadcast network in the United States. Calderon also co-hosts the network's primetime news magazine show, Aquí y Ahora. As a respected journalist, Calderon has received several recognitions during her professional career, a second National Emmy Award in 2018, for her interview with KKK leader Chris Barker, and the Hispanic Public Relations Association Bravo Award for Journalist of the Year. She was also nominated for a Peabody Award for the border crisis coverage on Aquí y Ahora, and has received 5 2019 Emmy nominations. It is a pleasure to have both of you with us today. Tiffany, I'll turn it over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you so much, Ilia, on behalf of the National Association of Latino Health Executives. We're so glad to be able to have this conversation with you. Oh, goodness. I have to tell you, I've been reading your book, and My Time to Speak, Es mi turno. This is a phenomenal book, and I'm just going to encourage everyone to pick it up if you haven't done so already. Ilia, your story is so amazing and so powerful. You talk about your struggles as a child growing up in a small town in Colombia and making your way to the United States and ultimately leading the flagship program, Noticiero Univision. And tell us a little bit about that journey for you.
Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Thank you for this amazing invitation. Thank you to everybody that was able to join this conversation. I think sometimes conversations are uncomfortable, but we need to have it, and we need to bring some topics to the table and keep them there to make sure that we are doing something to solve them and to progress as a society. You were talking about my book and the story that I wrote about El Chocó, who is the place where I was born, where the majority is we are majority Black people, and we are poor, not only because we were abandoned by government after government for centuries, but also the corruption of our own politicians and local governors has consumed the money assigned to El Chocó and to other Black communities in Colombia. So growing up, I didn't have much, but I was happy. I was a happy girl. I am the daughter of a teacher. And I have 2 sisters, and my parents are divorced. And we grew up with my grandfather on my mother's side, who is our father figure. An amazing, amazing, amazing abuelito. I learned everything from him. The value of the work, the value of the money, generosity. He was an amazing person, and so lovely and loving, and he surrounded us with so much love that we felt that we didn't need anything else. Growing up, we didn't have electricity, we didn't have power. As I told you, it was an abandoned region. Still today, I see some towns, small towns, and secluded in the middle of the rainforest without electricity. And this is 2021. So growing up, we didn't have electricity. We had to, let me give you some examples. Iron our clothes with a charcoal iron. We could watch TV thanks to one of our neighbors, Doña Blanquita, that was was generous enough to her energy or power from a generator that she had like a couple times a week. And it was like a moment of happiness. We were like, llegó la luz, llegó la luz. Like,
Yes.
well, we got power
Yes.
today. So that meant that we could have ice cream, or not ice cream, but popsicles. It was basically, el jugo, the juice, the fruit juice, frozen. And
it was also a time to scramble and rush to get all the things that you needed to get done while you had electricity, right?
Exactly. And take advantage of it in every single way. But I remember my childhood, just being happy, playing on the streets, even when it rained, because it rains a lot and almost every day. We used to just to play outside on the rain and run on the streets and playing with balls. And even when when the town flooded, it was, despite what it means that you have flood, you have everything, you have water, and you lose a lot. But for kids, it's, we're playing with frogs and, playing in the water. We were just,
Right.
we had to make ourselves happy, right? We had to make ourselves happy with the little that we had.
Yeah, those are the simplicities of life that we all look for. But what I think is so beautiful is that here you started with such humble beginnings, and throughout your journey, though, you had to make some really difficult decisions, and whether you were going to continue to pursue your dreams. And one of your first dreams, it was to go to school in another city. So
Yes.
that's quite a task to take on as a little girl. Tell us about that.
I was always so curious and so eager to know more, to do more. And I knew that if I stayed and I did my high school in El Chocó, since our schools didn't have much resources, and let's say the teachers were not the ones with most experience, and always in the national, ¿cómo se llama las pruebas nacionales? The SAT, how do you call them here? SAT?
Yeah.
The SATs. We were like at the lowest level always. And I knew I needed something like better. I wanted better education. I wanted a better foundation for college. And I asked my mom to send me to Medellin. And Medellin is a city, mostly, white people. And my mom's sister used to live there with her family, and we were very close. They used to come to Chocó, my cousins. We basically grew up together. I used to go to Medellin. Excuse me. I used to go to Medellin on vacation sometimes. So I knew from, their textbooks and everything that they had a better level of education than the one that I was getting at the same age as my cousin.
Yeah.
And I saw the difference. And I asked my mom, and she said, well, okay, I'm going to give you the opportunity. And I was 10 years old when I flew to Medellin to live with my family, with my relatives. And it was a hard decision when I was, and I talk about this in my book. When I was on that airplane, I asked myself, what did I do? Like, I felt, even though my mom was next to me, I felt so lonely, like I'm leaving everything. I'm leaving everything. What am I doing? Like, right? And I cried, and it was a hard decision. And I knew it was going to be difficult to live without my family.
Right.
I was determined to do it. I wanted to do it, and I knew it was going to be better for me.
So in Medellin, you encountered racism for the first time. And that was kind of an awakening. If you could share with us that experience.
Yes. So I moved to Medellin, a new city. I start at a new school, a Catholic school. no friends, new life. I was around turning 11. A lot of changes in my body, hormones, everything comes with that age. Um, and and at school one day in the morning at the assembly, the older girls were formed like steps, and I was in sixth grade. Like sixth grade for us is we don't have middle school like in the United States. We go from fifth grade um, to high school, right? So but sixth grades we were the smallest ones. So I started like I was walking towards my spot, and a girl bigger than me, white, um, puts herself back when I was passing by, and she said like "negro ni mi caballo," that is like black, not even my horse.
Wow.
And I felt so bad and so confused,
Mm-hmm.
um, lonely. I didn't have a friend to hold my hand and tell me, don't worry, or speak up for me. I didn't speak up for myself, um, even though I knew she was wrong doing that. But
Yeah.
not all the time you are able to raise your voice. You
So
are not
true.
ready all the time. When you have those aggressions, is a very confusing moment. Is you don't know how are you going to react.
So true. So true. So
And
you
and
talk about, oh, I'm
and
sorry.
no one should blame anyone for not responding to an aggression, because you never know at that moment what that person is going through. And I see moms telling their kids like, no, you talk, defend yourself. You have to not even hit, but say something back. Say something back. You don't know if the kid is going to be able to do it. What is going on around the kid at that exact moment when it happens? So I decided to keep it to myself. I didn't want to give her the power to make me feel bad. I didn't want to give her the power to interfere with my dreams. And I felt that it was my fault because I asked my mom to go there, to send me there. And even though my mom didn't put that weight on my shoulders, I felt that, well, te lo buscaste, there you go, you have to endure what it comes with, right? So that made me stronger, But I had that little thing inside me. The fact that I didn't respond, the fact that I wasn't able to do or say something. And yeah, after that, other aggressions came, like people making jokes about blacks in front of me, or making fun of the hair, the nose, our hips, and our culture, and calling us lazy people. And many of sometimes I responded, but sometimes you feel like in order to keep working for your dreams, you stay silent. I feel the mothers that are sitting behind a desk or a computer, and they just listen to those aggressions and suffer in silence, because they know they have to bring food to their tables, to their kids, or to elderly parents. So it was hard, but I am also a strong woman, raised by a very strong and resilient woman. And I made myself just go through everything. And I always knew that inside me, I always knew that one day I was going to speak about the situation, and to raise my voice for the ones that are not able to do it.
Yes, yes. Ilia, there's a term that you use, which is Un silencio digno.
Mhm.
A dignified silence. That is such a powerful phrase. When I read it, I said, wow, I think Ilia just coined a term that I can actually use to describe my experiences when I kept silent. And I think so many of us as women and our own experiences and journeys have had to deal with a dignified silence. And so thank you for sharing that story and that journey, because it's something that we all grapple with. On this day of International Women's Day, you know, many of us, we think about what it means to be a woman. And you covered the stories of femicide in your book, horrific stories. And you mentioned that if we manage to change the global vision of what it means to be a man or a woman, we'll see the statistics of femicide drop. So being that today is Women's Day, I have to ask, I'm just going to ask about women, right? Because it's International Women's Day. What do you think the global vision should be changed to for what defines a woman?
Yeah, first of all, we need to, parents, mothers need to raise real men. The ones that are raising men, they need to raise real men. A man that respects a woman, a man that is not afraid of a woman, a man that can recognize women's success, and a man that can be an ally of a woman. And I don't think we are doing anything wrong, because many times we stay silent because of the situation. I don't think a woman needs to be judged when decides to keep a story for her. No one has to judge our time in our terms. No one has the power to do it. We do it when we are able to do it, and when we feel comfortable in our own skin, and when we feel comfortable that when you raise your voice, you are going to help others and you are speaking for others. So the world needs to change the vision, not only of men, but women, and consider us, our struggles, and as women, we need to be unified. We need to behave and act as a group, as a sisterhood, and many times we don't. We don't. That phrase that, we need, we help each other, we lift each other, we raise, support each other. I've heard that phrase so many times, and I've seen women doing something completely different.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like criticizing and being even, stronger when you are going to criticize somebody that is, belongs to your own gender than you do with other peers. So we need to be more kind to ourselves and to other women.
Yes, beautiful. Well, and you have an example of when a woman actually did that for you, when you were not invited to a casting. Tell us about that example.
Well, what Pilar did is what every single person, or every single white person that is next to a Black person that has been denied an opportunity. Pilar Vélez was an anchor at the local channel in Medellin, where I was an anchor too. And somebody came from national television looking for talents. And the person in charge of the casting called every single anchor but me. And I was the only Black anchor. When they were all there, Pilar was the only one that said, Ilia needs to be here. Turn on the TV, because she's anchoring her news show right now. Yes to Pilar Vélez. Yes. She did. Yes, she did the right thing even though it meant that she was going to have another person as a competition for the casting.
Right.
But she did the right thing. I landed the job. I kept the job. But 3 months after, my co-anchor left for a new opportunity, and they hired Pilar.
Wow.
Pays off. What she did, it really paid off. It really paid off. And we remain friends. We are friends. And I think that not only because she changed my life, what she did completely changed my life. I think there is an example when you talk about allies, when you talk about giving opportunities to someone that has been denied an opportunity. And I think she deserved space in my book because she has a space in my life. And what she did is a big example. Is a big example.
Yeah. What I think is so beautiful about that story is that it highlights that you had put in the work. You weren't looking for what others may say, oh, people are just looking for a handout. Women are looking for a handout, or people of color are looking for a handout. You put in the work. You were worthy of being included in that casting, and yet you weren't. And so you talk about being given an opportunity, being given the opportunity when it's due. There's a quote in your book. I have to read it because it's so beautiful. I blindly believe success belongs to those who work for it, and that nothing should be given away. You make that very clear. But all that effort and dedication will never bear fruit if we aren't given an opportunity first. Ilia, that is so true. So true.
It's exactly what happened. Like my newscast was successful. I was good. I was a good news anchor, and people liked me. But the person in charge decided that at national level, I was not going to be successful. I didn't deserve to be at that level, or people was going to judge or not accept a Black woman but before no one was. Colombia never had a Black woman as a main anchor. We had like sports anchor or probably with small segments, entertainment segments, but never the main anchor. And that is, a misconception of the market. He is a person that knows about TV, and who told him, like, he was so biased, who told him that I was not going to be successful just because I was Black.
Right.
And in that order, he denied an opportunity to a woman that, that deserved it. Yeah. The same way the other ones deserved it.
So Ilia, in that moment, here you are being finally invited because of Pilar speaking up. So you're being invited to this newscasting. Did you encounter at all feelings of imposter syndrome, of maybe I'm not worthy, maybe I'm not, even though you very well know that you are, but that self-doubt that comes in to play? Did that come into play at all then or ever in your career, and how did you combat that?
When Pilar told me what she did, when we were traveling to Bogota, we traveled together to do the casting, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that happened until she told me, and the other girls that were doing the casting for the position told me that was Pilar the one that did it, and she told me the story, and I was like, what happened? And then so many things crossed your mind. I wasn't good enough? Was because I was Black? Let me see. Let's think about it again. Maybe this, or maybe yes, you do. Yes, you do. You go through those moments.
Yeah.
But there I had my mom and my sisters telling me and my group of friends that I was good enough, that I was enough for that position. And then when I anchored, the news director told me we never had a Black a woman as an anchor, and I am going to voy a apostar por ti. I bet you are my card. You are you're gonna be my card, and we are going to do it. You have the talent, you have the intelligence, you're very smart, very charming. You have everything. You have everything I'm looking for this position. And he gave me strength, and I learned a lot from him. He was nervous because even though he didn't know how the market was going to react, he took the risk because he saw talent. He didn't see skin color.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to take the risk because you are exactly what I'm looking for, despite the color of your skin.
That's it's yet another example of an opportunity when it presents itself, and being given those opportunities and how it opens doors for women and for women of color especially. There is a quote. I want to kind of stay in this space where we're talking about our careers. There's a quote that you have in your book, and I'm going to share it with the audience. This is a powerful statement. You talk about what it is to be a woman. What exposes me most to being raped, to being killed, to being robbed on a deserted street, to being exploited at work, to being denied a promotion in many professions, to being paid less, or being insulted in a bar, or being humiliated for my look on Instagram, and to have to prove every day what I'm capable of, is the fact that I am woman. And that is the reality. It's so beautifully articulated. And I know you wrote this in Spanish, and in Spanish it's even more poetic when you read it in Spanish. So for those who can get it in Spanish, I encourage you to do so. But you speak about what women have had to go through, and there's so many odds against us, and yet we rise. We shatter ceilings and records. We have firsts all the time, every day. There's always a first that a woman is achieving. But I have to ask specifically for you in your profession, where it's male dominated, this male dominated industry, how do you balance authenticity in this space of a male dominated industry? Because healthcare, and many of our viewers who are healthcare leaders, we are operating in a male dominated industry.
It's hard. I'm not going to deny it. It is, and it's still hard for women. It costs us 3 or 4 times more than it costs a man to be successful. But I think, with the movements and with the Women's March and what we have done, and the ones that paved the path for us, that made it a little bit easier for me, and I'm going to make it a little bit easier for the ones that are coming behind. It's just taking us too much, and it's taking so long for women, because I think society is not prepared. Not us, but others are not prepared to see women shining. And sometimes, the other day I was talking to my sister-in-law, and we were talking about work, and she said something about comments that people were, things that they were saying about a female that has a very high position in an industry dominated by men as well. And her response was like, hey, maybe she is like that because she had to go through a lot to be where she is right now. It's not that you have to be like that. You can be nice and generous and kind, even if you have it difficult. But some women really, really had it hard, and they become so strong that they are, oftenly their attitudes are misled to being I'm not gonna say the word, but be right. Just because they see a strong woman
Right.
that has struggled a lot, it's not necessarily that she is that, but some environments make women behave like, or make women, show others, or others portray the women as that type of person. But I think the problem is in society.
Yeah.
The way they look at us, and the very small value they give to a woman. But things can change. These conversations are amazing. Opening spaces to talk about it, to educate men about women, and for parents that are raising boys, read them books about girls, not only about the amazing man that is successful in sports, or an engineer that is a president or CEO of a company. We have plenty of stories of women to read to the boys as well.
So true.
And that will change one day. That will help to change the way society sees a woman.
I think that's brilliant. I think we do need to do that. Wow. So when you were 10 years old, you noticed something changed as people were looking at you more. And you said to your mother, I felt that people's eyes were on you everywhere you went. And your mother had to describe to you a conversation that I think all moms have to go through with their kids about this magnetism that they have, right? And so, being that this is NALHE, the National Association of Latina Health Executives, I have to ask this question. So forgive me, Ilia. There is a certain sensuality that we as women, Latina women, bring. It just is.
It's a reality. It's true.
It is a reality.
It is there.
So in a corporate culture, male dominated, and I'm asking this because we deal with this in healthcare. How do you, in your industry, how do you balance that sensuality that you have and that you bring, because it is who you are? How do you balance that within corporate culture? Do you feel that you have to mute it? Do you feel that you're not being authentic? How do you navigate those waters?
Well, the question to my mom when I was 10, it was because I didn't like the attention. I was not comfortable with a lot of attention. I am shy. I am very introverted. And being the center of attention was never something that I like. You read in my book, I didn't want a quinceañera party or the graduation party. But yeah, I think we just, I'm just proud of the way I look and who I am. And I think that part of that attraction reinforces when you grow up and your personality is bigger than, the way you look. I can, like my mom said, you can walk, wrapped in a blanket, like from head to toe. And if people is going to be attracted to you is because it's something else. It's not necessarily your hips or your boobs or, your cinturita, nothing. It's your personality, and you have to be proud of it, and you need to know how to manage so no one can disrespect you, right? No one can disrespect you or go beyond where you want, beyond your line. That for me has been very clear. Like you don't let anyone go beyond. And if I have experiences when, colleagues have tried to be a little flirty or little comments, and I immediately stop. But that is my personality. I don't judge someone that doesn't feel comfortable saying no. Stop there. A lot of women, majority of women have to, remain silent.
Yeah.
And they speak up when they are ready. You know, for in my case, it's different, but that is my personality, right? And and I always, my mom always tells me, you know, don't talk about you, don't show too much about you. When there's something good, like really good in you, let people talk about it. They will talk about it because it's so good. I mean, and it's authentic. It comes from you. So if people is gonna say that you are smart, it's because, you know, it shows that you are smart, that you are kind, that you are generous, because that's the way you are. It comes from inside. You don't need to pretend to be someone else. When you are authentic and you are consequent with your values, I think it just comes, you know, it's attention, just, you know, it comes to you. Plus being a Latina, like you said, like you said,
Oh my gosh.
like some people, like sometimes I look like people calling me, you're exotic. And I was like, what is exotic about me? What do you mean exotic? Like sometimes it's, you know, an offense in a way. No.
So in our audience, we have, as I mentioned, majority of healthcare leaders, and we're always looking to raise our voice for our own communities. And you are on the front lines, you're in our communities. Is there any recommendations that you would provide to us as healthcare leaders that we should consider as ways to best advocate for our communities?
Listen. We need to learn how to listen. Because in one phrase, behind a phrase or a behavior, there is a story. And we need to look beyond. We need to read between the lines. We need to, you know, to try to try to understand and be kind to others. No one knows what the other ones are going through. Someone that comes to you with a problem, someone that comes to you smiling, even sometimes, behind that person there's a story, there's a family, there's a problem. So be kind and listen to other people's stories, and be always willing to help. Do anything. Sometimes just listening to someone's story is enough for them to feel that they are not alone, that they are important for someone, that their stories matter, that they have, you know, someone next to them, and that person can become an ally. Don't be afraid to speak up for someone else. Don't be afraid to help someone else, even if that represents you maybe, you know, not having that position, like what happened with Pilar. But always, when you do good, you always receive good. That is true. Try to, you know, be a mentor, guide people that are lost in your business, that don't know what to do or how to share your vision and share your knowledge, your wisdom. You grow and you evolve, and you have a responsibility with the ones that are behind you. You grow not for you. When you dream, and I am very, I think I put it in my book too. When you dream for others, your dreams are bigger. When you dream for yourself, those dreams are so little that they, you know, they are only yours. But share, be generous, be kind, be nice. And you know, it's like a chain. It's like a chain of doing good.
Wow. What a great thought to close us out with, Ilia. Thank you so much. This has been such a wonderful time to just connect with you, understand a little bit more about your story and how your story really echoes and resonates so much with each and every one of us. I want to thank NALHE, of course, and our sponsors. For those of you watching and would love to get a copy of Ilia's book, I would like to invite you to take a screenshot today and do a hash, send it on, post it on LinkedIn, Twitter, hashtag NALHE DFW or hashtag NALHE. You can get a copy of Ilia's book. And then I also want to invite you to join us this evening for a continued segment of this session on unpacking the untold truths, the stories of coming to America. Ilia, thank you so much for this time. We have enjoyed it, and I wish we could spend more time with you. We're just like back. I mean, my goodness, but thank you, and thank you for the bringing and raising the voice of our Latino brothers and sisters across this nation and across the world.
No, thank you so much for this amazing invitation. You know, I only hope that, you know, my words can help someone and can uplift many spirits. And this is amazing that we have to have these conversations, and we have to bring the topic to our tables. And let me tell you something. You reading my book gave me chills. Okay, you're reading some paragraphs up so beautiful, as if I was reading it to myself. Thank you so much for this invitation.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.